How's it going, YouTube lovers? This is the Eagle Builder Animator, and welcome back to another Eagle 8 Countdown. But today, I will not actually be reviewing quotes from a Star vs. the Forces of Evil character like I did in my last two episodes of the Eagle 8 Countdown. Today, we will actually be traveling north from Echo Creek, California to Gravity Falls, Oregon to review the top 8 quotes from my favorite character from that show, Grunkle Stan, professional conman and founder of the Mystery Shack. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into today's Eagle 8 Countdown. Here are the top 8 quotes from Stanley Pines in Season 1 of Gravity Falls. Number 8. This quote is from the first episode of the series, Tourist Trapped. Now in this episode, Dipper and Mabel Pines have first arrived in Gravity Falls to spend the summer with their great uncle Stan. And we're already starting to figure out exactly what kind of guy Stan is. He owns a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack with overpriced fake attractions, and he forces Dipper and Mabel to work at the gift shop. And he loves playing practical jokes on the twins, especially on Dipper because he gets the best reactions out of him. Mabel is feeling all happy to be in these new surroundings and everything because she's like the happiest girl on the planet. Dipper keeps getting that unnerving feeling that he's being watched or that there's something else mysterious going on. And Stan is just tired of hearing all of these crazy conspiracy theories that Dipper has. So he simply explains all the weirdness to him.
Look, kid, the whole monsters in the forest thing is just local legend, drummed up by guys like me to sell merch to guys like that.
While it is true, Stan, that all the stuff that you have in the Mystery Shack is all fake things that you and your employee Seuss have glued together, literally using craft glue to put like a fish head and armadillo body. I don't know where the heck he got that idea from. The weirdness in Gravity Falls is not fake. But Stan was just trying to convince Dipper of that so that Dipper would stay away from it. But as we all know, because there's 2 seasons of this series, that didn't work at all. So anyway, this is just setting up a little bit of Stan's character, which we get revealed a little bit more of in the later season. But still, that's one of the things that's brilliant about this show is how they set up every little detail. And you have to pay attention to everything there is. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 7. This quote is from episode 6, Dipper vs. Manliness. Now the quote for this episode actually comes before Dipper ever meets the Manitor. Yes, I said Manitor, not Minotaur. That was on purpose. This quote is actually from the beginning of the episode where Stan and the kids go to Greasy's diner for some food. And Stan, being the cheapskate that he is, orders a fraction of a meal for himself and like 2 sides of condiments for Dipper and Mabel. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm not entirely sure why Dipper and Mabel's parents thought it was a good idea for them to spend the summer with this guy. There's many times that I question their decision, to be honest. Anyway, Mabel starts complaining, saying how she wants pancakes. And Stan kind of scoffs, saying that the flour of the pancakes is really expensive. And also,
What am I, made of money? Tap, tap.
Stan, with the amount of money that it costs to buy anything at the Mystery Shack, and the fact that you even have a machine where you give a penny, and that's all you get back as a card that says thanks for the penny, you definitely have enough money just to buy at least 1 plate of pancakes. Seriously? Oh boy, he is definitely the con man. But I don't blame Mabel for asking. I mean, pancakes are delicious, and I definitely wouldn't want to just have a condiment when I was starving. So even though this quote doesn't actually have to do with the main plot of the episode, either main plots actually, because there's 2 different storylines going on, it is still a really hilarious quote, and Stan, he's just got this odd sense of humor, and he's a really, really hilarious guy once you get past the grumpiness about him. Oh boy, Stan. But anyway, that was this quote, and let's go on to the next one. Number 6. This quote is from episode 13, Boss Mabel. Now in this episode, Mabel is quite unhappy with how Stan has been treating Shack employees and guests alike. And their argument that they're having about this eventually turns into a bet between the 2 of them. Yes, a bet between a 12-year-old girl and a professional con man. The bet is that Stan can make more money on vacation than Mabel can while running the Mystery Shack. And of course, Stan immediately cheats, and when he goes on vacation, he goes to be a contestant on a show that's basically a knockoff of Wheel of Fortune called Cash Wheel. And of course, it's the type of show where the whole point is answering puzzles to get lots and lots and lots of money. I mean, some of the things on here are even more ridiculous than Wheel of Fortune. You can literally have a shower of cash and a flood of cash. It's a little bit ridiculous. So anyway, Mabel and Dipper are having troubles keeping the shack in line, especially when a monster gets out and starts destroying everything, and they have to spend most of their profits fixing it with only $1 left. But of course, when Stan gets back, he's saying, like, I made all this money. And then, on the bonus word, which he had bet either double or nothing on, the word was please, which he already had mentioned earlier in the episode, how he gets a burning sensation in his chest while saying it, and how it never makes him any money. And that was the one word he needed was please, and he just couldn't get it right. And so, he defeatedly admits,
apparently that word can make you money.
Stan must really, really, really not like saying please, because the guy was giving him so many hints. It showed him how many letters it was. He said it was a P word to ask for something politely, also known as the magic word. But Stan first one was gimme with 2 E's. And then his second guess, which the final guess he was allowed to have, was pabracadabra. Why does that even make any sense to you, Stan? But anyway, because he lost his bet, what he had to do was sing an apology song at the end about how he was wrong, singing the Stan Wrong song, and they did like over 30 takes of it. So I kind of felt bad for Stan on that. It was a little bit overkill making him have to apologize that many times in embarrassing song form. But he's a little bit more polite, but he's still a grump. That's just who he is. He's Grunkle Stan. There's no way about it. So anyway, that was this quote, and let's go on to the next one. Number 5. This quote is from episode 8, Irrational Treasure. Now in this episode, Gravity Falls is celebrating Pioneer Day, the day that Gravity Falls was founded. And Stan is just tired of all of the crazy people in this town because, let's be honest, he may be weird, but he's probably one of the sanest people in this ridiculous town. And he's even warning Mabel and Dipper not to come back talking like them because then they'd be dead to him. We know that's not true, but it was still funny to hear him say it. But that's not the quote from this episode. This quote actually comes from when his car is stuck in the mud, he's trying to get away from all the Pioneer Day activities, and even the local mechanic, who's too much in character, will not help him with his car. I'm going to stand on this one. The townspeople are going a little bit crazy with this. And he's getting so frustrated that he just grabs the mechanic and yells out,
I can't take this anymore! I'm getting dumber every second I'm here!
Of course, saying that gets him in trouble with Officer Blubbs and Deputy Durland, and somehow they only seem to do their job when it has to do with Stan. So he ends up literally in stocks for the rest of the episode, just mocking people that go by and grimacing whenever he gets tomatoes thrown at him. Oh boy, that's Stan for you. But I do agree with him. It was kind of mind-numbing for all of the ridiculous things that were happening during the Pioneer Day activities there at Gravity Falls. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 4. This quote is from episode 3, Headhunters. In this episode, Dipper, Mabel, and Seuss rediscover Stan's lost wax museum that he used to run at the Mystery Shack. And so Stan figures, why not open it back up and give it a chance to bring him more profits? Of course, all about profits with Stan. But then one evening, this recent wax figure that Mabel made for him of Stan himself gets decapitated. And this whole episode turns into a big whodunit mystery, basically say which of the townsfolk could have chopped off Wax Stan's head. And as Dipper and Mabel are going off to interrogate some suspects, Mabel is carrying the axe that they had found, which they're presuming to be the weapon that was used to quote-unquote kill Wax Stan. Not really a murder, it's made of wax, come on. But anyway, going off to interrogate potential suspects and the fact that Mabel is carrying the axe that way. I mean, as an Eagle Scout, that is definitely, I could say that is not how you're supposed to carry an axe. Stan starts thinking to himself,
this seems like the kind of thing a responsible parent wouldn't want you doing. Good thing I'm an uncle.
And that is Stan for you. That pretty much sums up, again, I question Dipper and Mabel's parents sending them up here to live with this guy for the summer. I mean, I know he's family, but he's a bit of a nut job if you haven't noticed. I mean, literally, in one episode, we have a flashback of him having them counterfeit money. Why is this a good idea? It ends up being a great summer for them, but still, Stan, we know you love your family, so you might want to take a little bit better care on what you're doing, just to be honest. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 3. This quote is from episode 10, Fight Fighters. Now in this episode, Dipper is off on his own adventure dealing with accidentally bringing a video game character to life from one of those 8-bit video games. But meanwhile, Mabel's starting to see Stan acting suspicious when it comes to things that are high up off the ground. And when she's questioning him about it, offering to get him a ladder so he can grab something, he flat out tells her,
You know, studies show that keeping a ladder inside the house is more dangerous than a loaded gun. That's why I own 10 guns, in case some maniac tries to sneak in a ladder.
Now Stan, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but where exactly did you hear this study? Because I highly doubt that it's an actual study and he just made it up to try to get Mabel to stop talking to him. Because it turns out Stan has a fear of heights, and Mabel spends the rest of the episode trying to help him cure it, while Dipper deals with, of course, the 8-bit ninja warrior who then tries to kill Robbie. Stan eventually gets his fear of heights cured, though, but Mabel then develops a fear of heights. But helps Stan cure it, gives Mabel the same fear. So it's kind of an endless, vicious cycle. I don't know if Mabel ever got over her fear of heights. I'm assuming she did, because they go on some crazy adventures later in the series. But, at least Stan's good to go, so we can officially say that he has no fears. Except for having no money. That is his biggest fear of all. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 2. This quote is from episode 11, Little Dipper. In this episode, Stan's arch rival Gideon Glee, that little creep with way too much hair, is trying to find a way to take the Mystery Shack from Stan. And Stan just kind of doesn't care about Gideon. He finds him as almost kind of an adorable opponent. But Gideon eventually discovers a way to try to take the shack when he finds a magic flashlight that can grow and shrink things because of a crystal put in front of it. This flashlight was made by Dipper because in this episode, Mabel keeps making fun of him that she is a millimeter taller than he is, even though they've pretty much been the same height forever. And when Mabel is mercilessly mocking Dipper, Stan wakes up from a nap, walks into the room, and says,
I was awoken by the sound of mockery. Where is it? Show me the object of ridicule.
Of course, any chance he has to tease Dipper in any ways that he hasn't already used, he would love to get in on it. Because he is Stan. That's just who he is. Most of these quotes are just because Stan is Stan. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anyway, Gideon manages to shrink Dipper, Mabel, and Seuss with the flashlight, but Dipper and Mabel are able to stall him by tickling him so that he doesn't shrink Stan and the shack is saved. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. And finally, number 1. This quote is from episode 2, The Legend of the Gobblewonker. Now this episode will always have a special place in my heart anyway because it is the episode that I finally got hooked on this show. I mean, episode 1, it was good for starting the mystery, but I just couldn't take any more of the gnome that was vomiting rainbows. That was a bit too creepy and weird for my tastes. And yes, I know Gravity Falls later has a demonic nacho, but come on, the gnome is still creepier, I think. In this episode, Stan wants to have a family fishing day with Dipper and Mabel because they're going to be there all summer and he really wants to be bonded with them. Although they seem kind of confused because they weren't exactly expecting that from him. Anyway, they start hearing rumors about a Loch Ness monster type creature that's in the lake there at Gravity Falls, and they ditch Stan, go off with Seuss, and go monster hunting. So Stan is all by himself, not having any fun, and he sees 2 people in a boat and says, those will be my new pals. Unfortunately, of course, because this is just Stan's luck, you have a guy who's trying to propose to his girlfriend, and Stan decides to break the ice when he motors up to them by telling a joke. And of course the joke goes like this.
Hey! Wanna hear a joke? Here goes. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. You see, it's funny because marriage is terrible.
Stan, I could say that you definitely have timing. That is for sure. Timing is probably one of your strong suits because, and not good timing, by the way, I mean timing to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Or it could be the right thing at the right time if you think about how that correlated, but This quote right here, when I heard that, I immediately loved this character, and I remained a loyal viewer of the show throughout both seasons, and according to Alex Hirsch, I am now an honorary member of the Pines family, so that's always a good thing. And so other than just the fact that it's funny and Stan has the best timing ever, because it is the quote that really got me hooked on Stan's character, and it's the episode that got me firmly hooked on this show, this gets the #1 spot in today's countdown. Before I go, here's a quick recap of today's Eagle 8 countdown.
Look, kid, the whole monsters in the forest thing is just local legend, drummed up by guys like me to sell merch to guys like that. What am I, made of money? Tap, tap. Apparently that word can make you money. I can't take this anymore. I'm getting dumber every second I'm here. This seems like the kind of thing a responsible parent wouldn't want you doing. Good thing I'm an uncle. You know, studies show that keeping a ladder inside the house is more dangerous than a loaded gun. That's why I own 10 guns, in case some maniac tries to sneak in a ladder. I was awoken by the sound of mockery. Where is it? Show me the object of ridicule. Hey! Want to hear a joke? Here goes. My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. You see, it's funny because marriage is terrible.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Please drop a like down below if you did, especially if you're excited for more Eagle 8 countdowns in the future, especially around some more Gravity Falls characters, because I have a particular 3-sided character in mind for the next Gravity Falls countdown. Okay, so anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please drop a like down below if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys! Mgdwiky.